One of the most crucial things to focus on right now is what the BRICS are doing, because this is aligning everything with the global monetary system as well. And if we really kind of look into this, we can see that crypto is a very, very big piece of this new global monetary system. And yes, I do believe that Ripple and XRP are going to be significantly used within the US financial system. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. If we take a quick look at what's been happening in the month of September around the BRICS, there has been a lot of big updates. Number one, we have breaking news. Vladimir Putin calls for a greater BRICS role in global energy markets. Here we go. The dots are all starting to connect. In the past, the forum was also attended by delegates from Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil exporter. And if we go back in time a little bit, there was a lot of speculation around Saudi Arabia not joining the or not re-upping on the petrodollar deal. And also there was a ton of meetings with major BRICS nations with Saudi Arabia. So if we really think about this, yes, dominance is being usurped from the US in very, very small ways, but it's all building and building and building and building up, waiting for a very significant update. And I do believe that update is going to be the petro yuan possibly, or just Saudi Arabia cutting a deal with Russia. I am watching this unfold closely. Now, also over here, we have a report on alternative payment systems will be prepared for the BRICS summit. We are less than 1 month away from the summit. We could see a proposed common unit backed by gold, because that's been their focus, with 40% tied to the value of gold and the remaining 60% in a basket of national currencies from BRICS countries. We may also see additional proposals focused on digital currencies. Things continue to heat up. I will be covering the event in real time. Now, I'm sure that all of you are all aware that the BRICS want to move forward with crypto. They have been fully focused on digital currencies. They've also been focused on digital payment systems as well, revolving around crypto. So as we really kind of think about what the BRICS are doing, the question is, what's the US going to do? And everyone thinks that the US is falling greatly behind, that they're not doing anything with crypto, but that is wrong. We know that the US has been engaged around crypto, around CBDCs, around digital currencies for a very long time now. But also over here we have BRICS to unveil de-dollarization roadmap at the next month's summit. And over here we have BRICS de-dollarization roadmap to be revealed at BRICS Summit in October. Big shout out to Smoke Dog for this. The main purpose of Project mbridge is to enable countries to bypass the dollar. The full operation of mbridge, BRICS Bridge Payment System. And here we actually have the main purpose of mbridge is to enable its users to bypass the existing US-centric financial system. This is key as it not only includes bypassing SWIFT, but also bypassing all intermediary banks in cross-border transactions, as well as the US dollar in forex trading. In these transactions, the US dollar is basically a bridge currency, especially for large transactions. Now, we also have, using mbridge, you'd be able to swap dirhams for krona directly from a UAE bank to a bank in Iceland, assuming these banks are part of the mbridge system. This removes the US dollar as the bridge currency, removes intermediary banks from the transfer, and removes SWIFT from the equation. The significance of this is that it facilitates international trade by removing the US dollar as the bridge currency. It also eliminates the US dollar as a reserve currency in essence, because remember what I've always said, why we need a reserve currency. It's mainly for cross-border transactions. We need a currency that can retain its value in a stable way over the course of, whatever, many days those transactions take to settle. Typically, it's about roughly 3 to 7 days, but that's why a reserve currency is so crucial, because of cross-border transactions. That's also why I've said, once we achieve instant settlement, it completely eliminates the need for a reserve currency. What we also have, this also means that the tens of trillions of dollars of demand coming from large forex transfers would disappear. This means that demand for the US dollar falls, and the related adjustment effects of supply and demand and rates will have to be addressed. The eventual full operation of mbridge and in time the similarly conceived Brics bridge is awaited by a significant number of countries, including the Brics members, as well as much of the global south. Now, also, over here we have, and this goes back to March of this year, Brics will create payment system based on digital currencies and blockchain. This was back in March. So as we really kind of wait for the summit, yes, I do believe that crypto should 100% be on everyone's agenda to focus on. Your crosshairs should be on crypto. More specifically, it should be on cryptocurrencies that can facilitate payments in a very quick, almost instantaneous time frame, that are very liquid, that have a decentralized aspect to them, that have that bridge currency status as well. And of course, one that comes up in my mind is obviously going to be XRP. We also have XLM. HBAR is also kind of getting there, but for the most part, it's XRP, right? We know XRP. We know the value behind XRP. I personally believe that XRP could be, tapped in around the US financial system. And we'll get to that here in a second. But over here, we also have Russian President Putin says, for centuries, Western elites grew accustomed to filling their bellies with human flesh and their pockets with money. This ball of vampires is about to end. Check this out.
But the gist of it is different. The gist of it is that the so-called golden billion for centuries, for 500 years, they have practically lived off of other peoples. They were ripping apart these poor peoples, poor nations of Africa. They exploited Latin America. They exploited the countries of Asia. And of course, no one forgets this. And I have a feeling that it's not even about the leaders of these countries, even though it is a very important thing, but the common people of these countries. In their heart, they can feel what's happening. They can see our struggle for our independence, for our true sovereignty. And they see this connection with their aspirations to be truly independent, which is exacerbated by the fact that in the Western elites, there is a strong desire to freeze the current unfair state of things in international affairs. For centuries, they've been stuffing their stomachs with human flesh, and they've been stuffing their pockets with money, but they must realize that this ball of vampires is about to end.
And there you have it. And as we do really kind of think about this, you might say, oh, well, this is just propaganda. The US dollar is going to continue to rise in, value and strength and this and that. But when we really think about fiat currencies in general, they have all failed. What we are really kind of witnessing here around the Brics, around the US dollar, you kind of have to look beyond the nonsense around how the US dollar is getting killed in real time, that the US dollar is, falling, that, the US is done, it's finished. That's all the headlines, okay? When you actually look at what's happening here, the Brics are reinventing the entire financial system. They are pushing for a digital financial system, and the US is also developing this. They're all aligned perfectly around this. They're all on the agenda tab as well with the BIS, the IMF, the World Economic Forum. All of them are pushing for this. So when we really think about this, what we are witnessing in front of us is all these mainstream media headlines really kind of kicking the same ball around, hoping that everyone is watching and saying, I wonder what the US is going to do. Well, guess what? The solution is that the US is going to tap in to, stablecoin initiatives, digital currency initiatives. They already have been preparing a CBDC for a while. But also, I do think everyone should be paying attention to what the Brics are saying, because they have been quickly rising in terms of GDP against the G7. As you guys can see here, the G7 just lost 30%. They're down to 29.64%. The Brics are at 35.43%. They've been quickly rising. I mean, if we just go back to 2020, Brics had 33.64%, G7 at 31.08%. Already, the Brics are slowly creeping in on 35%. And we already know that the G7 lost 30%, which is very significant. Now, also outside of this, We also have over here economic growth forecast for G7 and Brics countries in 2024. This got posted 5 months ago. And when we look at this, right, the US is not growing as much as, for example, India, China, the UAE, Iran, even Russia technically, and Egypt. So when we think about what's happening around the G7, around the US and the G7 countries versus the Brics countries, we are starting to see dominance usurped. We're starting to see power shifting. We're starting to see major moves happening. And that's why when we focus on what the Brics are doing, we need to look at their plan of action here. Now, also, if we look at this, we have as the US and NATO aggressively weaponize the dollar, pushing west towards isolation, XRP's role in international trade settlements grows even more critical. As BRICS nations embrace gold-backed currencies, XRP stands ready to bridge the gap in international transactions. Check this out.
All we have to do is look at BRICS. And BRICS controls at least 40% of the gold in the world. And they're talking about going to another currency inside BRICS that excludes us that will be based on gold, at least partially, if not completely. All of these things seem to be moving in parallel: economic, political, and military. Everyone is divorcing themselves from the United States and Israel. It's that simple.
Now, how could the US stand to benefit from all of these major moves that the BRICS are doing? Because remember, the goal here around the BRICS is to move towards digital. They want digital. We know that this is a clear path forward from the BRICS because they've been telling us, hey, we want a payment system based on digital currencies and blockchain. That was exactly their focus. And we also know that a lot of the major banks and the central banks around the BRICS nations, they've also been experimenting with CBDCs, digital currencies, blockchain. And as we really kind of look at this, right, we know that Ripple is launching their Ripple USD stablecoin. We know that there's going to be a lot more stablecoins as well. But the reason why this is a big focus is because remember what we got from Congress back in 2023, August 10th. This was stablecoins can keep the dollar the world's reserve currency. Stablecoins, blockchain-based assets backed by bank deposits and treasury securities, are at the heart of the dollar-based revolution happening throughout the developing world. The price is supposed to stay steady, often at $1. Think of them as digital versions of prepaid cards with the potential to be important tools of American soft power in a world where the role of the dollar is in question. And this was back in 2023. And we know that stablecoins could bolster the US dollar and the strength of it, but also DeFi. And we also know that this is clear because going back to February, we have stablecoins could boost dollar as global reserve currency. This was from Fed Governor Christopher Waller. And he also mentioned that DeFi could boost the dollar's global strength as well, because a lot of this is tied back to those stablecoins. Now, the big question here is, all right, well, now we have Ripple pushing a Ripple USD stablecoin that is compliant. They've been working with regulators around this. It's going to be probably one of the most liquid stablecoins in this market as well. At a time where Ripple is pushing institutional DeFi initiatives as well, it's very clear to me that Ripple, with the Ripple USD stablecoin and also the XRP ledger and XRP, could very well be the ones to save the US and the US dollar, especially at a time where the US dollar is in question around what's going to happen with it and also what's happening with the US and the BRICS. But I want to remind you guys what's happening behind the scenes around all of this, which is the move towards a digital financial system and a move away from the traditional paper-based financial system that we are all aware of. We are witnessing a massive revolution in front of us. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, set notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.